We'd like to thank the Bannon County High School Performing Arts Center for the use of the facility, the Governmental Affairs Committee for the Fannin County Chamber of Commerce. My name is Amanda Gwatney, and I'm the chairman, along with co-chairman Stephen Miracle. We also have members Troy Shearburn, Frankie Rigdon, and Teresa Bedez. And of course, the coordinator of the entire event is Christy Gribble, our chamber president. She was sick and couldn't be here with us tonight. But we're going to go ahead and get started. And we have quite a number of candidates that we're going to hear from tonight. We're going to begin, first of all, with our United States Representative candidates for District 9. Then we'll hear from the candidates for the school board seat that's currently occupied by Bobby Bearden on the Fannin County Board of Education. There's another BOE seat that's occupied by Mike Cole, who has no opposition. So we'll just be focusing on the contested races tonight. Bobby has 2 Republican opponents. And then we'll move to post 2 for the Fannin County Commissioners, the seat currently occupied by Glenn Patterson. Glenn has 3 Republican opponents and 1 Democrat opponent. So we'll hear from most of them tonight. Some of them could not be with us as well. And then the winners of each race in the primary on May 24th will compete in November for the final vote unless there's a runoff. Several candidates have let us know, as I said, that they won't be here, and we'll announce those as we get to those races. You have some approximate times in the program, and those are approximate depending on how long it takes each of the candidates to answer questions and how long they take with their opening statements. So those are approximate, and we'll just adjust as we need to. So Stephen, if you could tell us about the format, please.
Absolutely. Welcome to the candidate forum. I'll talk a little bit about the format for tonight's forum. We'll initially start with the U.S. representative candidates, and they will be asked to give a 3-minute statement. At the conclusion, we'll ask the Board of Education, we'll ask the Board of Education candidates to come up and join us at the table. The Board of Education and post 2 Board of Commission candidates will be given the opportunity to make a 2-minute opening statement. They will then be asked questions from the committee and from the audience if there's time permitting. The questions were suggested to our committee by residents and others over the last several months. These candidates will also be asked to give a 2-minute closing statement. Each question also has a 2-minute response time. Members of the committee, Troy and chamber staff. Troy, are you out there? Wait, there you go. So Troy and members of the chamber staff are available to, with note cards, that if you're interested in asking a question of specific positions, please flag them down and they'll give you a note card and you can put your question on there. Chamber and staff member Kim Foster. Hello, Kim. We'll be in the front row timing, and we'll let speakers know when 1 minute is up and when there are 30 seconds remaining and when time is up. So she is our timer tonight. Thank you, Kim. This is a forum, not a debate. We will not use personal questions, only questions about the issues. This is not a question or answer format from the audience. Mandy and I will ask the questions, and we ask the audience not to speak directly to the candidates during the forum. Videotaping, thank you to ETC for videotaping tonight's event. It is being played live tonight. It also will be aired at 6 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursday, April 28th through May 20th. And that will be at 6 p.m.
All right, and candidates, when you come up, you can either speak from the podium for your opening and closing statement or from the table, whichever you prefer. So we're going to start with candidates for the U.S. Representative District 9. The incumbent, Andrew Clyde, had a conflict, so he couldn't be here with us tonight. Michael Bogus is trying to get here from work, so let me see if he is here. I haven't seen him. Okay. Next we have J. Gregory Howard. Mr. Howard is here, so if you'll come up and you'll have 3 minutes to give us your statement, please.
Good evening. I'm glad to be here in Fannin County. My name is Gregory Howard. I'll start off. I'm the son of two Georgia natives. My father was from Sylvania and my mother was born in Nails Creek in Banks County. After serving in World War II, my father became a special agent for the FBI and our family moved across the nation as Mr. Hoover directed. My father passed in 1970 after a brief struggle with leukemia, leaving behind my mother and 5 children. I live in Lawrenceville, I'm in the district, and I have lived in my same house for 19 years. I started working as a mechanic's helper at 12 to earn the money to go to the scout camp and worked at the same shop through college. After college, I started working for a major law firm in Atlanta. I'm an Eagle Scout, former AAU United States swimmer, and today I'm a small business owner. I've been asked, why do I want to be in Congress? And the very simple answer is this: to advance my work in restoring our lost freedoms and the God-given rights bestowed on behalf of the citizens in our U.S. Constitution. For the last 100 years, there has been a relentless assault upon our individual liberties, whether taken by law or voluntarily surrendered. And once gone, they're rarely recovered without considerable struggle. It is not that our system of government has failed, it's that we have allowed unconstitutional, prohibited, and undue hardship to be placed upon it. I've spent over 20 years in this fight. I have worked tirelessly on behalf of active duty military, their families, our veterans, and for our Second Amendment rights, as well as the Right to Life and numerous other organizations. I did a radio program for almost 12 years advocating constitutional governance and focused on the failure of both Republican and Democrat members of Congress to achieve anything of substance. The show became the follow-up show for 2 hours to the Sean Hannity Weekend Update on Saturday and the Rush Limbaugh show on Sunday on several stations. And for the record, I personally covered the cost of the show when advertisers were pressured out of sponsoring us. Plus, I gave away thousands of dollars a year in commercial advertising time to the Georgia Right to Life, National Right to Life, the NRA, and many other worthwhile conservative groups. I spent 8 years as chairman of the board of one of this nation's largest military family veteran charities, and in 2008 and 2009, for my efforts on behalf of the Second Amendment, I was awarded with the J.M. Littlefield Award by the NRA for being the #1 legislative activist in America. 4 years ago, I started a JDS Citizen Defense Fund, and it's a legal fund, taking our fight to the courts on behalf of the citizens. On December 3rd, 2020, I filed one of the first Dominion machine challenges in America. Myself and 44 other patriots signed on. 2 of the others are now running for Congress along with me. My name is Gregory Howard, and I would love to get your support. You can find me at howard2022.com. Thank you.
All right, next we have John London. It said he would be with us. Mr. London. Okay, I don't see him. Also running is Ben Souther, who let us know that he could not be here today, as well as Michael Ford let us know that he could not be here today as well. So Andrew Clyde, Michael Bogus, Gregory Howard, John London, and Ben Souther will run in the Republican primary on May 24th, and the winner of the primary will face Mike Ford unless there's a runoff, and any runoffs would be June 21st. So we'll start with the next race now.
So if the candidates for the Fannin County Board of Education would you please join us up here on the stage and have a seat at the table.
Thank you for being here.
While they're making the way up, I'll let you know that the incumbent in this seat is Bobby Bearden. Debbie Holcomb is the challenger. Clarence Jr. Farmer is also challenging the incumbent in this race. Mr. Farmer is not available as he had spinal surgery recently and cannot drive. All of these candidates will run in the Republican primary on May 24th. The winner of the primary, if there is a winner, will run the seat unless there is a runoff. I I will remind you that you and the candidates that you'll be given an opportunity to do an opening statement. Each of you will have 2 minutes to do that, and then we'll have a series of questions, and then when we're done with the questions, we'll ask you to do a closing statement of 2 minutes in length. So with that, if you will, Mr. Bannon, if you will start with your 2-minute opening statement, please.
Thank you. I'd like to say good evening to everyone. I'd like to thank the Chamber for having this. For you who do not know me, my name is Bobby Bearden. I've lived in this county all my life, except 3 years. I served 3 years in the U.S. Army. I'm married to Jamie Bearden. She's retired from the school system. I have a son, his name's Delane. I have a daughter, her name's Teresa. I have 5 grandchildren, 3 great-grandchildren, and 1 should be here this week, hopefully. Anyhow, as you know, I've been on the school board for several years, and my heart's in it. That's all I can tell you. My heart's in it. I grew up here. I went to school, Bannon County, and I've got 2 priorities. One is 8 letters, CHILDREN. I am for a quality education for the children of Fannin County. The other priority is the citizens and taxpayers of Fannin County. And I've tried my best to represent both those groups while being on the board. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bannon. Thank you. Ms. Holcomb, if you will give us your 2-minute opening statement, please.
Can I get some at the table?
Yes, you may.
So mic on? Yes. My name is Debbie Holcomb, and I have been in Fannin County for 17 years. I currently am a Fannin County Library Board trustee. I currently am very active in the Mountain Patriots. I'm very active in the Fannin County GOP. I volunteer at Animal Control. I am a mom. I am a grandmother. I have 2 grandchildren. One is in elementary school and one is in the middle school. I'm concerned with different things that I hear when I go to different functions. So I have a heart for the school, for the children, for the parents, and also for the faculty. I would appreciate your vote on May 24th. Thank you.
Okay, we'll start with the first question. And Mr. Bearden, since you're the incumbent, we'll start with you on this one, and then we'll alternate from here on. And the first question is, what is your motivation for running for this office?
What is my motivation for running to this office? Well, it's just like I said, it's children. I think children not necessarily need to go to school. They need to go to school to learn. That's why I said that all children deserve a quality education. I think our school system offers that quality education. We got #1 teachers. We got #1 everything, I think, in this school system. And I've stated it many a time, and I'll state it again tonight. Our school system is one of the best, if not the best, in the state of Georgia. I just love children. Also, being a taxpayer and all like that, I'm here to take care of the citizens and taxpayers. And I think I've done that.
Thank you, Mr. Bearden. And Ms. Holcomb, what is your motivation for running for this office?
My motivations for running for this office is because of all the things that are coming down from federal level, state level, such as CRT, gender misidentification, or whatever you want to call it. There's just so many things that are coming down, and I do and have attended school board meetings, and I've asked questions, and the answer I get is that our curriculum and our policy comes from the state. Well, if that's the case, then why do we have a local school board? I really am concerned about what is going on in our schools that we don't know about. Yes, we have a very good educational system right now, but there are things that, such as vapes in the schools, they are running rampant. There are drugs in our schools that are running rampant. We don't hear about that when you go to a school board meeting. So I want to try to make a difference in my community. I want to make a difference for my grandchildren. I want to make a difference for your children and your grandchildren. That's my motivation. Thank you.
Ms. Holcomb, this question is for you to start us off, please. What value do you see in the district's charter and existence of school governance teams?
The student governance teams, to be honest, I don't know much about the charter, so I'll be honest about that. But the student governance teams, where you're taking teachers, students, and parents and having meetings and trying to figure out what's best for the students, education-wise, counseling-wise, I do think there is high value in that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bearden, would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
What value do you see in the district's charter and existence of school governance teams?
Okay, start with the charter system. After we became a charter system, I told the other people on the board, I wish we would have been like that the whole time that I've been on the board, because that gives us more flexibility to decide what Fannin County needs rather than what they need in Atlanta. And as far as the other part is the SGT, you know, we can sit in the school board meeting and stuff like that, but we don't know what East Fannin needs. We don't know what West Fannin needs. We don't know what the high school needs. But those parents who have children there, those teachers who are there, they know what they need at that school. And I'm very thankful we have SGT to make decisions about each one of our schools that we have. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, our third question, Mr. Bearden, we'll start with you on this one. What do you feel should be the primary focus of the school board?
Well, the primary focus of the school board is to make policies. It's not to run the school. The school board hires a superintendent to run the schools. Well, I think we have too many people that think the school board needs to run the school, but that's not the case.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Holcomb, what do you feel should be the primary focus of the school board?
Primary focus of the school board should be to oversee curriculum, budget, policy, anything that has to do with all of the school system. It is also their primary, or their function should be with the superintendent to actually know what's going on in each individual school. Thank you.
Our next question, Ms. Holcomb, is for you. What is the role of a school board member?
What is the role of a school board member? I've kind of asked myself that question. Currently, when I go to a school board meeting, I'm sorry to say, at first, when I first started going, I thought, wow, this is great. They don't fight, they don't argue, they don't bicker, they don't, it's very calm, cool, collected. The longer I attend, the more I understand that they also don't discuss. They don't do workshops anymore, so there's no discussion. Everything is, let's pat each other on the back, let's tell everybody how good everything is. I feel that a school board member should be as transparent as any other elected official, if not more so, because we are the ones that are dealing with our future, our children. Do I really know what a school board member is? No, because I've never been a school board member. I just know that I have a heart and I want to make a change and I want to monitor what's going on for our parents and our grandparents, for our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bearden, what is the role of a school board member?
Well, my role is, like I said, to make policies and see that they're carried out. We do have meetings. It's not in person. Mr. Watney, our superintendent, sends us a video. He goes over every article, every subject is going to be on our school board. And if we have any questions, we call him and we talk about it. It's not one of them, I'll pat you on the back and you pat me on the back. We have sometimes disagreements between us, but we work it out. Just like Ms. Holcomb said, we get along. I've been on the school board for 20 years. We've never had a knockdown drag out or anything like that, and we're not going to. That's not what it's about. Being a school board member, I think, is making sure that your school system runs good, that your children get quality education. You've got #1 teachers there. You got #1 educators to take care of all that, and that's mine.
Thank you.
All right, the next question, Mr. Bearden, we'll start with you. What specific experience do you have which will benefit the Fannin County school system?
One more time, please.
What specific experience do you have which will benefit the Fannin County school system?
I'm just going to say knowledge. Knowledge is a great teacher, and I'll say knowledge. I've been around for a while, and if you've been around for a while, you should learn some things. And I believe I've learned a lot of things in comparison with our education system in Fannin County, and I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Holcomb, what specific experience do you have which will benefit the Fannin County school system?
Experience, just being a mom, being involved in my children's education, attending their meetings as they were growing up, knowing what the school system is like. I am a Republican. I am fiscally responsible. I worked 17.5 years for county government. I was an auditor. And I'm just a mom and a grandma. And I really, really want to do what's right for these kids. There's too much that's coming down. And I really want to do what's best for them. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Ms. Holcomb, this question is, what do you believe makes an effective school board?
What would make an effective school board is communication. Communication, transparency. Researching exactly what the curriculum is, being able to answer a parent when a parent asks you, you know exactly what's going on in your school. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bearden, What do you believe makes an effective school board?
An effective school board is one that cares about what happens in the school system. We are currently the highest rated school board that you can be in Fannin County. And being an old man, I just lost my train of thought. I had something there that I was going to tell you, and I just lost it. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Okay, this next one, we'll start with you, Mr. Bearden. What do you see as the greatest need in Fannin County currently for our students, and how would you address that need?
Well, the greatest need for our students, there's a lot. I really don't want to talk about what I'd like to talk about where I'm at right now. I think the thing about the students was, personally, I think that the parents need to get more involved on what their children are doing. It was alluded to shortly a while ago about drugs and stuff like that. There's nothing that we can do as a school board, I think, to stop drugs. I think it needs to be at the house, mom and dad. Does that make sense?
Okay, thank you. Ms. Holcomb, what do you see as the greatest need in Fannin County currently for our students, and how would you address that need?
Our teachers need better wages. Our teachers need better compensation from the past with COVID, when they were forced to take time off because they were in contact. They may not have had COVID. Our teachers need to feel like they are more appreciated by the board and the school administration. We are losing them left and right. I have been told, don't worry about how many we're losing, they're lining up to apply. Okay, but we're losing so much experience because they're leaving. And I think that one of the most important things that our students need is teachers who are happy to be here and are happy to be teaching them. Teachers that care. I mean, our teachers do care, but they're not getting what they need, and it's hard for them to give the students what they need. How would I address it? I don't know. But I would sure like to try. Thank you.
Ms. Holcomb?
Sorry.
Yep. We good?
We're good.
Okay. Ms. Holcomb, do you think it's a good idea to hire only local teachers? Why or why not?
To hire only local teachers, is that what you asked?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think that's possible. So, no, I don't think that we would only hire local teachers. There just aren't enough. I mean, our community's not that big. Do I think that we need to hire quality teachers? Yes. Do I think that we need to offer our teachers more than what we do? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Bannon, do you think that it's a good idea to hire only local teachers? Why or why not?
I do not. I think if there's a local teacher who is qualified for the whatever position, I think I'd go for that first. Sometimes you can't find the quality teacher that you need locally, so you have to go to other sources to find that. It is our practice to hire local where we can, and I'm for that.
Thank you.
Okay, the next question, Mr. Bearden, we'll start with you. What have you done to prepare yourself for for holding the office that you seek?
What have I done to prepare myself for holding the office that I seek?
Yes.
Is that what the question is?
Yes.
Well, I've tried to, through the years, gain knowledge about certain things that you have to have in being a school board member. And going back to what was mentioned just a while ago, if I can remember right, when we had all the COVID and things, and there wasn't a teacher furloughed, just like they were everywhere else, we've always paid our teachers 190 days, if I'm not mistaken. And as far as I know, we take care of our teachers and stuff like that. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Holcomb, what have you done to prepare yourself for holding the office you seek?
Started off by attending school board meetings. I've attended them for several years. I've also talked to teachers, and yes, as mentioned, Mr. Bearden, there was a lot of payment to teachers at first, but I do know that there are several teachers who used up all their time. And the reason was because they kept being in contact with students who had COVID. So then they had to quarantine again. And then if their child was in contact, if they had children and their child was quarantined, then so was the teacher again. And there were several teachers who ran out of time and were not compensated. So in preparing for this, again, I talked to teachers. I've talked to many parents, some of them on an athletic field. You know, it's just very casual, but I hear the complaints. I hear what's going on. These are part of the reasons why I decided to run, because of these things. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the question and answer portion of this part of the candidate forum. Thank you, candidates, for your thoughtful and considered responses. Now it's time for each of you to give a closing statement of 2 minutes in length. Ms. Holcomb, if you will start first.
Thank you. I don't know that I really represented myself very well up here today. I'm very, very nervous, and I don't know why. I can't even see any of you. But as a legally blind person, I just wanted to make sure that everyone here knew that I am capable. As I said in my opening statement, I'm very active in the community. I do not let my blindness stop me, and I will not let it stop me. I care about this community. I have been active in this community from the beginning. I know I am not a native. I am, as some people call me, a move-in. But no one can have a bigger heart for this community than I do. I moved here not to see it change. I moved here because I loved it the way it was. The only thing that I'm really having a problem with is all of the changes that are coming down for our children, CRT, the gender issue, sex education at such an early age, things that are in our libraries, in our schools. These are things that concern me. This is the reason that I am running, because I want to make a difference, and I want to know what's going on, and I want to be able to tell each one of you what's going on. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Bearden, will you give us your closing statement, please?
Thank you. The First thing I want to tell you, my heart is 110% in our school system. I've had children go through, my wife retired from there. I've got grandchildren, I'll have great-grandchildren, and, you know, if you only knew the school system like I know the school system's doing great. The school system's doing great. There's an old, and I'm going to say this, and I know some of you is going to make fun of me for what I'm fixing to say. There's no saying if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The Fannin County school system is perfect, as far as I'm concerned. I have our children in mind. I have our taxpayers and citizens in mind. And that's about all I got to tell you. I mean, my heart's in it 110%. And if you believe that I do a great job for another 4 years, I would ask for your vote. And if you want to call me sometime, call me. Please don't call me after 10 o'clock, because I'll be asleep. Just have a great night. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for our candidates for Fannin County Board of Education. We will now take a brief break. If we could be back at 7:55, then we will start with the candidates for Fannin County Board of Commissioners, Post 2. Thank you all.
So thank you, candidates, for joining us. At this part of the program, we have the candidates for the Fannin County Board of Commissioners, Post 2. The incumbent is Glenn Patterson. He is challenged by Larry Joe Sosaby, Greg Staffens, who will not be able to attend due to allergies, Anita Weaver, and Larry Saipata, who had a car accident over the weekend and sustained a concussion, so he will not be able to join us tonight. Mr. Patterson, Mr. Sosaby, Mr. Staffens, Ms. Weaver will run in the Republican primary on May 24th, and the winner of the primary will face Mr. Saipata unless there is a runoff. At this time, I would remind the candidates that our format is to have you give a 2-minute opening statement, and then we'll have a series of questions of which you'll have 2 minutes to respond to, and then we'll have an opportunity for closing statements. So at this point, Mr. Patterson, if you will give us your opening statement, you may do that at the table or at the podium.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Glenn Patterson, your current Post 2 Commissioner, and it's my honor and privilege to serve you. Last Friday, at this very place, was a very exciting moment in my life when the idea of a standalone, brand new library finally came to fruition. An unprecedented joint meeting on here at this stage of the Board of Commissioners, the Board of Education, the State Department with David Ross, and all gave support, and an agreement was made public in this very stage again. I've been a strong advocate for the library and educator for over 30 years, and I'm very proud to attain this wonderful benefit for our citizens, young and old alike. I'd like to thank also the Library Board for its support. The Board of Commissioners have been working hard for you in getting things done. Here are just a few things that I have been privileged to be a part of during my tenure. Paying off the courthouse, being financially responsible with your hard-earned tax dollars, keeping roads and bridges in good working order. Southwood Bridge and Newport Bridge has been repaired, and we've had laid down 40 miles of asphalt on my watch. Supporting the gun rights and making resolutions to be a Second Amendment sanctuary county. Completion of the new 911 EMA Center. We've had improved broadband working with the Chamber of Commerce, local utilities companies, approving purchases of vehicles, trucks, ambulances, to keep every aspect of local government improved. The EMA, fire and rescue, law enforcement, animal control, and the courthouse. We've also placed new recreation playground equipment at Tom Boyd and Horseshoe Bend Park. All of this we've been able to accomplish this due to one big reason, I feel. A strong working relationship between our commission board, then our commission board reaching out with a spirit of cooperation by inviting partnerships with local entities, leaders, such as the Board of Education, the Chamber of Commerce, the city councils from Blue Ridge and Kaysville. We truly have a get-her-done attitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Mr. Sosabe, if you would give us your opening remarks.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the Chamber for holding this forum, also the citizens for being here. I'm married to Sosby. I'm married to Shirley Sosby. We have 3 children, 6 grandchildren, which 4 of them are in the Fannin County school system as we speak. I'm the owner of Martin Tire Service and have owned and operated that business for 31 years. I was your Post 2 Commissioner from 2010 until 2018. I am a certified county commissioner. I earned my certification the first year in office. My platform was safety of our citizens, also watching out for your tax dollars and where they're spent. If elected, I will keep the public informed and be a good steward of your money and continue to have an open door policy. On our watch, when I was Post 2, several things that we did do. We refinanced the courthouse for $600,000. We put back. Also, we helped get Walmart in here. The list goes on and on. It's just, you know, we don't have time to tell all of it. But I didn't do this alone. This was a joint action of the Board of Commissioners. And our budget at that time was about half of what I think y'all's budget are right now. But if elected, I will continue to work for Fannin County because Fannin County is dear to my heart. And I was raised in Fannin County and I've lived here for 68 years. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Ms. Weaver, would you please give us your opening statement?
I'd like to thank the Chamber for tonight and also thank everyone for coming. My name is Anita Weaver and I've been married to Benny, my husband, for 42 years. I was born and raised in Fannin County. I recently retired from United Community Bank after 31 years as a senior vice president and lender. Before that, I worked for 15 years for the Clerk of Superior Court. And I've been on the Fannin County Water Authority Board for 4 years and I am the chairman. I am here tonight because I care about what is happening to our county and I want to help save our county. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll start with the first question, and Mr. Patterson, we'll start with you if you'll answer this one first. A community center with meeting space is needed for Fannin County. What is your view of this need and how would you address it?
Repeat that one more time, the view of what?
A community center with meeting space is needed for Fannin County. What is your view of this need and how would you address it?
Yes, I believe as Fannin County is growing, there is a need for a community center. I think that can be looked at. In my experience as a commissioner, it's all about priorities. You know, there's just so much money. We have done good with our money, financially, physical. But I'd be willing to look at a community center because there is certainly, I think there would be a need, especially with our growing population. And our tourists as well on the weekends. So I think that would be something we would want to look at, yes.
Okay. Mr. Sosby, would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Please
Okay, a community center with meeting space is needed for Fannin County. What is your view of this need and how would you address it?
Okay, yes, we definitely need a community center, because like Mr. Patterson said, the county is growing in leaps and bounds. Even as far back as when I was post commissioner, we talked of it and never did act on it. Of course, our money wasn't as much now, and it takes more money to run the county today, I'm sure, than it did back then, but most other counties have community centers. They're a good place to gather, a good place for citizens to be, and just have to find a place to put it, just like these commissioners have found a place for the library.
Okay. And Ms. Weaver, would you like me to repeat the question?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Okay.
And I do have to agree with both gentlemen. We do need something like this in our community. Again, there is other things that I feel like we also need more important, and we would just have to look and see where we stand as far as the money and where we're a good place to put it at. Thank you.
Mr. Sosby, we'd like for you to start this round of questions with the following question. What are your thoughts about the effects of tourism on Fannin County?
I'm sure.
What are your thoughts about the effects of tourism on Fannin County?
Tourism.
Yes, sir.
Tourism.
About tourism in Fannin
Yes,
County?
sir.
Seems to be the backbone of the county right now. I've had several people come up to me that's concerned more so of people coming into the county and buying big tracts of land and building houses on them and so on and so forth, and then they step back in the background and make the money. But the tourism is the backbone of it right now. If it wasn't for tourism in Caysville, I don't know what Caysville would do with it. But I feel like it's right now it's most important for the county. Tourism is, because this is a tourist county.
Great, thank you. Ms. Weaver?
Tourism has become our main industry. It is bringing so much money into this county. I think through the lodging tax last year, the county received 6%, which the county actually received $2.8 million from that. And these funds are great, and to be honest with you, I'm kind of happy when they go home on Sunday, but I like their money that we can use to help our county. We can help it with many things, water authority, we can help it with land development, and so things like that.
Thank you. Mr. Patterson?
I agree with that. There's always some issues when you have a lot of people come into a place that they enjoy. I think we doubled in size on the weekends, from 26,000 to maybe around 50,000. A lot of people would say, well, they bring the litter, or they bring the noise. All these things probably are true in some aspects. However, they do bring their money as well. And that money can be spent wisely to help our native citizens here. And that's what we're looking to do. However, I feel like it's very important for us to look at things that we can do here for our citizens to bring in more funds. Because you never know, for whatever reason, tourism may have a downfall in the future. So I think it's important to have more than one thing to fall back on as far as economics and money is concerned. Thank you.
Okay, the next question, we'll start with you, Ms. Weaver. What do you think is one of the biggest challenges for Fannin County, and what do you think is a solution?
One of the biggest challenges I see is having countywide water. As I've been on the Water Authority Board, I've talked to so many people that are out there and their wells are so bad. Actually, I talked to one community, there's 62 people on one well. And because our county is divided into such service areas, it's hard for the water authority to get into some of these areas. And I think that's a huge challenge for us. So many people need good water, and we need to continue to look at that to see how we can get with our cities to get them to work with the county in order to allow the water authority to get into their service areas to help these people.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Patterson, if you'll answer that one next. What do you think is one of the biggest challenges for Fannin County, and what do you think is a solution?
Well, I think as Mr. Bearden said before, there's many challenges in Fannin County with its growth. And one thing that I have found being on the commission is that it's dynamic, it's ever changing. There's so many aspects that could pop up. We try to stay in front of the curve with our growth, with our water, as was just mentioned, and with our housing. All those type things are very important, and we just have to look and make priorities and try again to stay in front of that curve that's always, moving. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Sosebee, would you like me to repeat the question?
No, I'm good with it. I agree with both these people on this thing. Affordable housing is one thing. It's really looming in the background now. The water situation, my understanding is you can't stick another straw in Blue Ridge Lake to get water. I was talking to Mr. Seabolt down in McCaysville, and he said that they were at capacity with what they were doing. So it's going to be a big challenge for, my opinion, for housing and as well as the water.
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Patterson, what do you think is a solution for more affordable housing in Fannin County?
Boy, that's a tough one right there. Affordable housing, everybody wants it. You look for our neighboring counties, but it's very difficult to push the right buttons and to get it. There's a lot of integral issues involved. I think that's something we need to definitely look closer at and not put it on the back burner, because it's definitely something that we need here in Fannin County. As I said, as the other counties, and maybe we can network and find solutions. There are solutions from the state that could help us, but sometimes they're given with strings attached. So I think that's something that we definitely need to look at in the near future.
Thank you, Mr. Sosebee.
Repeat that, please, Wanda.
What do you think is a solution for more affordable housing in Fannin County?
Under these times we're living in, I don't know if there's a solution for it or not. The price of lumber, the price of building material, the affordability of land in Fannin County. You can go after grants. It's like Mr. Patterson said, there's always strings attached to some part of it. But right now, I really don't see a solution for it up to date.
Thank you. Ms. Weaver?
And again, this is a very difficult question to ask because, like Mr. Sosebee has stated, the materials are so expensive and the land. There are grants out there. Just obtaining those, as Mr. Patterson has stated, with the strings attached to them. But it's sad that our local citizens cannot afford homes in our county anymore. So there has to be a way. We just have to work together to find a solution for that problem.
Thank you.
Okay, the next question, we'll start with Mr. Sosebee. What is your long-term vision for controlling growth in Fannin County?
I really don't know what a long-term solution would be to control it unless you put a moratorium on the building aspect of it. We have a subdivision going in right below me, putting 47 units on it down there, my understanding is. You can't say no to one and let others do it. So I really don't know what a long-term solution would be for that.
Okay, Ms. Weaver?
Well, I feel that the county is eventually going to have to look at different ways. We may be able to look at lot sizes and trying to minimize how many houses we can put on these developments. And I know that's going to upset a lot of people, but if we don't start doing some of this, our growth is just going to continue. I've talked to a lot of people, and there's developments going in everywhere. 52 homes here, 40 homes here, and 30 here. So maybe looking at minimizing the size of the lots, maybe extending them to maybe 4 acres, 2 acres, or 3 acres, and trying to do that for our community.
Okay, Mr. Patterson?
Currently, we are working on our ordinances, which could be of some help if we did something like changing the lots, smaller, so forth. Again, it's something that you've got to think about because it's here. It's here, and we've got to get our thoughts together. We've got to work on it and come up with some type of solution. I just think that's very important for us to work in that direction. Thank you.
So, Ms. Weaver, what is your motivation for running for this office?
My motivation is I have watched this county grow, and it's continuing to grow. But I don't feel like we've kept up with the times. There is so much I feel that this county needs. It needs countywide water. We need more fire and EMS protection throughout the county. And they need to be manned by personnel, trained personnel. And a lot of our departments, I do not feel like their pay is where it needs to be to keep good employees. And I want to fight for some of that. I want to fight for our citizens. I know that we need the tourists to come and we need some of the growth, but we have to find a way to help our local citizens. And that's my motivation, to fight for them.
Thank you. Mr. Patterson, what is your motivation for running for this office?
My motivation for running for this office is very simple. I'm a native Fannin Countyan. I love Fannin County. Grew up here, went to school here, and I believe it's a great place to be. But I also see it changing, whether you like it or not. Change is coming, and we need to be ready for that change. Just as we talked about controlled growth. If we don't do that, the housing industry is going to fall flat one of these days. What goes up must come down. And that's a big part of our industry and economic system as well. So it's something that that definitely we need to look at. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought as well. But that's all I've got to say about that.
Thank you. Mr. Sosby, what is your motivation for running for this office?
Repeat it one more time. I'm sorry to have to do that, but I'm kind of hard to hear there.
What is your motivation for running for this office?
My motivation for running for this office is citizens of Fannin County and the children of Fannin County, grandchildren. I've been a lifelong resident of Fannin County, and I've had a business that, in Fannin County for the last 31 years. Fannin County has been good to me, the citizens have been good to me, and it's time to give back. I just feel like I've got a lot to offer, and I've got, like I said, I am a certified county commissioner, and so I just feel like I need to repay the county for what the county has given to me.
Thank you.
Okay, the next question, we'll start with Mr. Patterson. Loose trash along the roads in the county is a concern. What is your solution to this problem?
litter, as I said earlier, is a concern. We are currently looking to get a inspector or someone that actually can give out citations for litter. Littering is bad on the roads, but it's also bad around houses. And so we do have people with Mr. Radcliffe working to pick up trash on a regular basis, 6 to 8, but we still see trash on the roads. And I also have pickup from the State Department on our state roads. But I do see it increasing, and hopefully when we hate to do that, but giving out citations, putting up signs, reminding people not to litter, those type of things, and even to get a community program up for people on the weekends to go out and help. This is a community effort for us to keep our county clean and nice for ourselves as well as others. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Sosebee?
Like I said, I was a commissioner for 8 years, and we couldn't find a solution then, and I don't know what the solution now would be. The guys will clean the roads up one day, and they'll be littered the next. The citations, although you hate to give them, as Mr. Patterson said, but it's going to take some citations and fines to stop some of this stuff, because we have a lot of out-of-county people that do a lot of this. I live close to the Tennessee border, and there's a lot of it comes across. Especially on the weekend, if you put a sign up, 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to steal the sign, so there you go with that. But, as far as being a long-term solution, you just got to follow the problem and try to do the best you can with it.
Okay, Ms. Weaver?
And it is a problem in our community. I actually, with my brother, we get out on the weekends and walk up Dry Branch Road and ask and pick up a little bit of trash. And I see a lot of people doing that. The community does do what it can, but it is a problem, and like the gentleman, I hate to see citations, but I think we're going to have to do that in order for people to learn.
Okay, thank you.
That's a long question, so bear with me. Mr. Sosebee, you'll be the first to respond to this. Are you in favor of, and would you support, the construction of a county swimming pool? If so, would you be in favor of the county and the cities working together to accomplish this goal?
Yes, it would. I would be in favor of it. We've touched on that basis back when, like I say, I keep hating to bring back my days of being a commissioner, but the city and county should work together on this, because both will share in the enjoyment of it as well. I feel like the cost of it as well. The biggest decision is where to put it.
Thank you. Ms. Weaver?
Well, Blue Ridge has a city pool at the present time, and I think it is in bad shape and does need some repair to it. I'm not really in favor of the county and the city going out and spending $8 or $9 million on an aquatic center, but I would like to see them be able to work together to have something for our citizens. Even the school system, I'd like to see us to be able to have a swimming team for our school system also. So yes, I am in favor of some type of a pool. I'm just not in favor of spending a huge amount of money on that.
Good. Thank you. Mr. Patterson?
Yes, and yes, I am in favor of some type of pool, as the other candidates have said. I think it's important for us to look in shouldering some type of cost with partnerships. I'm very much into, lending out a hand of cooperation so we can work together with maybe the cities or whatever, or maybe the hospital, like you see Union County has, to bring some type of pool to Fannin County, because it's important for the kids. We've got a bunch of kids at the rec center each summer, and we don't even have a splash pad. So, you know, we are working on this as I speak, as commissioners, and we are again, sticking out our hand of cooperation with partnerships so that maybe we can have something in the very, very near future. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question, we'll start with Ms. Weaver. If elected, will you take action to make sure our residents can recycle here?
Yes, and I think that would be a very important thing for our county to do. And that might even eliminate some of the trash that we see on our roads if we did start doing that. Yes, I would be very much in favor of that.
Okay, Mr. Patterson?
Yes, again, we need something, and it would help if we could get some type of campaign, recycling program, along with the other things, just to bring a higher state of awareness to our citizens about the problem we have, and again, working together as a community, we can hopefully move this thing in the right direction. But I am for recycling. I think that would be a good start and to do so. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Sosby?
Yes, I'm also for recycling. Getting the Board of Commissioners, it's not an I situation. It takes two to do, or all three to compromise. But yeah, I think the Board of Commissioners should get together and try to get something going on the recycling part of it. It might help clean the trash up. Definitely I'm in favor of it.
Okay,
Ms.
thank
Weaver?
you.
Oh, I lost track. Sorry.
That's all right.
Okay. Mr. Patterson, if you will start us off on this. What have you done to prepare yourself for holding the office you seek?
Well, there's a lot of preparation. I want to say this. I'm a lot better equipped now than I was 4 years ago when I started this plan. But there's a lot to it. First of all, you've got to synthesize and analyze a lot of data before you do your homework, before you can make a decision. My education has helped me with that. I've also had training, as Larry Joe has said. I'm a certified ACCG commissioner now, and it took only 3 years to do so. Also, just the experience. They tell you that it's like drinking from a fire hydrant. It's just so much to take in. There's so many different departments of local government, and you got to know a little bit about all of them. And again, the final thing is, I think, to prepare is you've got to be able to work with people. You've got to be humble. You can't say it's my way or the highway, but you got to build a relationship with the commissioners, with the school council, with all the city councils, all these things, and let them know that you're really willing to look at things and listen. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sosby, what have you done to prepare yourself for holding the office you seek?
What have I done to prepare myself? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
I was, like I say, I was county commissioner for 8 years. Preparation that went through with those 8 years is enough to prepare me for the job. You have to work with your other two commissioners. You have to work with the public. You have to be gullible. You have to be transparent with everybody. You have to be in decision making, whether it's right or wrong. And but as far as being prepared for it, I feel like I'm well prepared for this.
Thank you. And now, Ms. Weaver, what have you done to prepare yourself for holding the office you seek?
Well, I have worked with the public for over 46 years of my life. And to me, that is very important, listening to the citizens and learning from that. I also have a financial background, and I think that would help the county also in looking at everything that we have going on. And there is a lot of departments that, I'll be honest, I don't know about, but I'm learning each day about each and every department, and I want to work with those people and to learn more about them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and this question will start with Mr. Sosby. Do you believe we have a problem with overdevelopment, and how would you address this issue?
Yes, I do. I believe we have a problem with overdevelopment, like I stated a while ago about the units down below where I live. And like I said, the issue is that you do for one, you got to do for all. But somewhere down the road, there's going to have to be some moratoriums on this building and overpopulating in here.
Okay, Ms. Weaver?
Can I have the question one more time, please?
Yes, of course. Do you believe we have a problem with overdevelopment, and how would you address this issue?
As I've been out in the community talking to people, that is on their minds. That's all they're talking about, all the development that's going on. And yes, I feel like we do. And we're going to have to do some type of, and I hate to use the word zoning because I know everyone cringes on that word, but we're going to have to look at some ordinance or something to slow it down a little bit to preserve our county. And it's going to be difficult. You're going to make everybody mad by wanting to do these things, but if we don't start now, and it is going to be too late for all of us.
Okay, Mr. Patterson?
Well, you know, that's a two-edged sword. I have a lot of developers and builders, you know, they've got to make their money while they're getting is good, so to speak. But I also see what my two candidates to my left are saying, and I think it comes back to it's important to listen to what the people have to say, because I can see it both ways. Maybe we need to have some town hall meetings or some meetings where we can get this more out front and just kind of see what we need to do to help the situation, because I can't see it both ways. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the question and answer portion of our forum. Thank you, candidates, very much for your responses. We found them very interesting and valuable. At this point, we will ask each of you to do a closing statement, and we'll start in reverse order. So, Ms. Weaver, if you will be kind enough to give us your closing statement, it will be 2 minutes in length.
On May the 24th, the citizens of Fannin County have to make a tough decision who they feel will be the best person to fill this position. And I want to be that person. With your help, we can make the changes needed to preserve our county. We've talked about a lot of things tonight, and I'm sure that it has upset some people on some of the things that we've stated. But the main thing is our county and our citizens and what we can do to help them. And I'm asking for your vote on May the 24th. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sosby, if you'll give us your closing statement, please.
Again, thank y'all. But before we go, I'd like y'all to know that I have always had the citizens of Fannin County held in the highest regard. And I've always wanted the best for our citizens. I have always been a Republican and a citizen of Fannin County for the past 68 years. If elected, I will be more vocal and transparent. With my knowledge, I feel like I can work with this Board of Commissioners and help keep the county running strong. If elected, I vow to keep an open door policy and keep the public informed of any major steps taken and the money spent. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Peterson? I'm sorry, Mr. Patterson. It's been a long night.
Yes, it has been. All right. All of you know of local governments that have constant conflict, bickering and fighting, getting very little done for the people. We, as commissioners, as it stands now, are not like that. We work together, we have good chemistry, and we've shown that by what we do, what we've accomplished, and we get things done for our citizens. On top of that, we facilitate relationships and partnerships that I've mentioned earlier tonight. With various community leaders, all of us working together can make it happen. That's also an asset for our citizens. I offer you, to me this election, I offer you, it's very simple, proven results where my opponents can only give you promises. Bobby Bearden stole my thunder. He said, if it's not broke, folks, why should you try to fix it, right? My guiding principle in all of this is that I work for you, and I'm only employed by the county. It is, again, a privilege and honor to serve you. So help me to help you, bring you back to serve you within the next 4 years. With a get-her-done commissioner team, you will not be disappointed in. Vote for me on May 24th. God bless you and God bless Fannin County. Thank you.
All right, I'd like to thank everybody for being here tonight. The primary for these races is on May 24th. Early voting starts on May 2nd. I'd like to thank Stephen Miracle for co-moderating, and the chamber staff, ETC, the PAC staff, and everybody in attendance for being here. And remember that this will be aired on ETC 6 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays from April 28th to May 20th. So share this with your friends and neighbors so that everybody can be informed when they make their decisions at the polls. Thank you so much for being here.